For daily ask Reddit. r/ask Reddit. What's the most ridiculous effed up thing you've done for money? My older brother used to keep his porno mags at the very top shelf of my closet. Perfect place where nobody could reach, and my mother would never look. One day I had discovered them while my little boyfriends were over playing N64. Tomboy little sister here FYI. So of course they all started fighting over it and asked if they could take certain pages. So I requested $1 per page and that quickly moved on up to $5 a page. Word got around recess that I was hustling porno pages for cash. Racked up some good $sign that year for a 10-year-old. Brother had no idea and obviously couldn't ask his little sister where his mags were. It was the perfect hustle. In high school I worked at an automatic car wash. It was a touch-free system, but the sensors failed a lot and would misjudge the length of the cars. The padded arm would hit the vehicles all the time. It was cheaper to pay an idiot to stand with his hand on the emergency shoot-off all day getting sprayed in the face with hot mist than to fix the sensors. It was a long hot summer for this idiot. I wrote term papers and research papers for $20 per page for rich idiots when I was in college. I could have been expelled if I was caught, and I realized later that I probably should have been charging way more since I was earning degrees for other people who now probably make way more money than I do. Should have charged $60 per page at the very least. It's high risk so of course it's gonna be high cost. I sent nudes to a guy with some unusual fetishes. Eventually he offered me $60 for a video of a close-up of me pooping, and I actually considered for a good while. Instead I just quit. Edit. I forgot to mention, but he also offered me the same payment, but for a close-up of me farting. If someone's willing to pay $60 for shit vids, they're gonna spend $100, $150, maybe $200. You should bargained a bit. Honestly, probably. I've definitely grown as a person since then. I'm currently undecided, but if I went back into content making I definitely wouldn't turn down an offer like that again. Not me, but my friend. I helped him with it, so I think I can tell it. Long story short, he was catfishing some dudes into thinking he was an attractive woman and managed to get a guy who offered a good amount of money for feet pics. Very specific feet pics. Q was spending the rest of a Saturday afternoon getting baked, shaving my friend's legs below the knee, painting his toes, raiding our roommate's shoe rack with her consent OFC, and taking these very specific feet pics for this dude. Money was sent later that evening. Pretty much paid for weed for our apartment for the semester. Well, you've come this far. What the hell were the specifics? Well, there were some specific poses, then some with toe rings on specific toes. Then there were some requests for videos of things being stepped on, loaf of bread, pack of cigarettes, some cut up fruits / vegetables, which I believe is quite literally called crush fetish. Then a few in various socks / hosiery, and then one with a soccer ball between the feet for some reason. Okay, I was a bad child, but this guy was kind of dick and deserved this, and that will be explained farther down. I poured sewage waste from my dogs on his porch. I got $60 for it. Guy used to shoot us in the leg with fake bullets that hurt like hell and would also shoot me and my friend's dogs. And if he is somehow on Reddit and sees this, fuck you for using your height against 12-year-olds and their dogs. I, mid-20s male, was a bartender at Pretty Diva Bar in my hometown for a little while after college. It was run by an alcoholic speed freak and his well-meaning but not at all bar business savvy wife. It was a disaster of all sorts, but I needed money and the commute was short. Anyway, after 6 months of fairly slow business they instituted Ladies Night on Wednesday, cheap drink specials and male dancers. The dancers were B Squad chip and ale dancer types, but the 50-year-old housewives loved it, and they dropped cash, both in my jar and down the dancers' pants. Now, we didn't have the license to go nude so the gents just went to tight, tiny shorts. Well, as far as ideas went it wasn't bad. After a month of these we were getting in 25 to 30 extra bodies in the door on otherwise dead Wednesdays. A few regulars, a bunch of male ups drivers just coming off shift, just sat facing away from the stage, and would randomly hook up with heated up ladies. Well, one day the dancer didn't show. I don't know if it was traffic or if his spirit finally broke, but he was more than an hour late and not picking up the phone when we called. The ladies were drunk and it was getting a little ugly. The owners, myself and my female barback were at a loss as to what to do. We didn't want to lose what little business we had built up, but we didn't have anyone to dance. We jokingly even asked the ups guys if one was willing to do a special delivery in exchange for free drinks. They weren't drunk enough to take up our cause. So I stepped up and decided to do it myself. I'm not an ugly guy, but I'm definitely not in the shape that people would pay to see undressed. I also have a negative sense of rhythm. I can't even clap in time. Elaine Ben's dance is better than me. But the show must go on. I took a shot of Jack for Courage, threw on the Tesla CD that someone had left in the sound system, and took the stage. Fortunately the ladies were drunk enough that they cheered me on as I awkwardly gyrated and shook my ass. I threw my shirt at them and whipped my belt above my head while wearing Red Wing service shoes. It was ridiculous. Still, I went the whole way and worked the audience by dancing on a couple of laps. I was groped and money was put down my dick as work pants. A couple of 50-year-olds had my crotch thrown at their face while they screamed with joy. I did 2 songs before I took a bow and wandered off stage, out of breath. It was pathetic but enough to soothe the beast of their desire. They were back the next week to see the new dancer we hired, and they smiled and tipped extra for the rest of my run at that bar. I made $25, and it is the $25 I'm least proud of.